Your grandmother's Pyrex dish survived 60 years of Sunday dinners without a single crack. The one you bought last year shattered when you took it from the oven. Your grandfather's Frigidaire ran for 31 years without a single service call. The one in your kitchen right now came with a warranty for 5 years. Something happened to the things that were built for American homes. And by the time we get to number 6 on this list, you're going to hear about a decision made in a single boardroom meeting that changed what every American family owned and threw it all away. These are 8 things your grandfather owned that still work today, and the story of why they stopped making them. Number 1. The Western Electric Rotary Telephone. In every American home, it sat in the same place. The hallway, or the kitchen wall, or the little table by the stairs. You pulled the dial to the stop, felt the resistance, let it go, and listened to it return. That sound, the mechanical clicking as the dial wound back, was the rhythm of daily life for 30 million American households. It meant someone was being called. It meant something was happening. Western Electric built these phones in the United States for the Bell system. They were not sold, they were leased, maintained, and replaced when they failed. The phone company owned them and had every reason to keep them working, and they did. Some of these phones, plugged into a working line today, still dial out perfectly. AT&T was broken up in 1984. The leasing system ended, manufacturing moved. By 1990, the rotary phone was gone from American production lines entirely. What replaced it was made elsewhere, owned outright, and designed to be replaced. Number 2. The Frigidaire refrigerator. White enamel, thick steel, a handle you pulled with your whole hand. General Motors made Frigidaire in Dayton, Ohio. In the 1950s, a Frigidaire refrigerator was an event. Families posed for photographs in front of them. They ran for 20, 25, even 30 years, with nothing more than a coil cleaning and the occasional door gasket. The compressors were built to last. The steel was thick enough to dent a shin. The shelves were glass. General Motors sold Frigidaire to White Consolidated Industries in 1979. White sold it to Electrolux in 1986. With each sale, the specifications changed. By the mid-1990s, the average American refrigerator was expected to last 11 years. Today that number is closer to 9 years. The engineers knew what they were doing when they changed the parts. That was the point. Number 3. The Sunbeam Mixmaster. On the kitchen counter, next to the toaster, in a colour that matched the curtains. Chrome body, glass bowls, a motor that sounded like it meant business. Mothers used it every Sunday, daughters inherited it. Some of those machines mixed batter for 60 years without a single repair. Sunbeam made the Mixmaster in McMinnville, Tennessee. The motor was overbuilt, designed with tolerances so generous that it ran cool even after an hour of continuous use. Sunbeam was acquired, restructured, and acquired again through the 1980s and the 1990s. By 2001, the company had filed for bankruptcy twice. The Mixmaster name survived. The Tennessee factory did not. The machine you can buy today with that name on it was not built to be handed to your daughter. Number 4. Pyrex glass bakeware. The Pyrex dish your grandmother used for Easter dinner is probably still in someone's kitchen right now. It went into a 400-degree oven and came straight to the table. It never cracked. It never clouded. It lasted longer than the stove it was used on. Corning Glass Works developed the original Pyrex formula in 1915, using borosilicate glass, the same material used in laboratory equipment. It expanded and contracted with heat in a controlled, predictable way. It was nearly indestructible in normal kitchen use. In 1998, the Pyrex brand was sold. The new manufacturer switched from borosilicate glass to tempered soda lime glass. It was cheaper to produce. It looked identical, and it shattered when exposed to sudden temperature changes, exactly what Pyrex was invented to survive. The name stayed. The formula left. If you want the original Pyrex, you buy it used. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something. One of these things is in your memory right now, not as an object, as a person. The sound of your mother's mixer on a Sunday morning, the click of the rotary dial when your father called home. Tell me in the comments which one just came to mind. I read every single one. I want to know. Number 5. The Zenith console television. In the living room against the wall, the Zenith. Not a screen, a piece of furniture. Zenith Electronics was founded in Chicago in 1918 and became the most trusted name in American television through the 1950s and the 1960s. Their sets were built in the United States, assembled by American workers, and sold with a level of confidence that came from genuine quality control. Commander Eugene McDonald, who ran Zenith for decades, refused to sell cheaper imported components when they became available. He believed the American consumer deserved American craftsmanship. Zenith televisions from the 1960s still power on today. Zenith sold its television business to LG Electronics of South Korea in 1999. The Chicago factories closed. The last American-made Zenith television came off the line, and no one marked the occasion. Number 6. The Schwinn bicycle. Every American child wanted a Schwinn. Not a bicycle, a Schwinn. Ignaz Schwinn started building bicycles in Chicago in 1895. By the 1950s, a Schwinn Phantom or a Black Panther wasn't just transportation. It was the most important thing a 12-year-old owned. Heavy, chrome-laden, balloon-tired, built to take every pothole and curb jump a boy could find. Schwinn built their bicycles in Chicago for nearly 90 years. The steel was domestic. The workers were union. The bikes were overbuilt in the best possible way. Frames that lasted decades. Components that could be repaired at any hardware store. In 1981, facing rising costs and foreign competition, Schwinn began moving production to Asia. The Chicago factory closed in 1982. By 1992, Schwinn had filed for bankruptcy. The name was sold, resold, and eventually attached to bicycles that share nothing with what your father bought you except the word on the frame. Number 7. The Gillette safety razor. Every morning your grandfather stood at the bathroom mirror with a Gillette safety razor, a single double-edged blade, a handle that weighed something in his hand. The blades cost pennies. A man could shave every day for a year for less than $2. In 1971, Gillette introduced the Track 2, the first cartridge razor with 2 blades. It was more expensive. The blades were proprietary. You could not buy a replacement from any other company. By the 1980s, the safety razor had been systematically moved off store shelves to make room for the cartridge system. The double-edged blade was not replaced because it stopped working. It was replaced because it was too affordable. That is not the same thing. Number 8. The Kodak Brownie camera. At every birthday, every Christmas morning, every graduation, and backyard barbecue, the Kodak Brownie. George Eastman introduced it in 1900 and sold it for $1. For the next 70 years, Kodak made cameras and film in Rochester, New York, employing tens of thousands of people. The Brownie put photography in the hands of every American family. The photographs those cameras made are in shoeboxes and albums in attics across this country. Still there. The colors have held. The images of fathers in backyard gardens, of children on Christmas mornings, of grandmothers at kitchen tables are still perfectly clear. Kodak filed for bankruptcy in 2012. The Rochester factories that once employed 60,000 people went quiet. The film that captured American family life for a century was no longer made in America. The photographs survived. The company that made them possible did not. 8 things. 8 companies. All of them built in American towns by American workers who believed that what they were making mattered. The refrigerator that ran for 30 years. The phone that never needed replacing. The camera that captured your grandmother's face on a Tuesday afternoon in 1958 and held it perfectly for 60 years after she was gone. These things did not stop working. They were stopped. Which one of these was in your home? Which one do you still have, or wish you did? Tell me in the comments. Don't let it disappear from memory the way it disappeared from the shelves. Subscribe, because we have a lot more of this country left to remember.